Hey there everybody, welcome to this video. My name is Paul, I'm from Germany. You might have already noticed my German accent. Anyway, on this channel I'm focusing on tech reviews as well as filmmaking, so if you're interested in that, consider subscribe. In today's video I'm gonna make a review of the Panasonic 12 to 35mm f2.8 lens. I think it's the first go-to lens, and why do I think it is the most important lens? Let's find out in this video. Talking about the build quality of this lens is just very good. It's made of metal and we have the zoom ring here, which is pretty where you have a really good handling, and it's made of rubber, so it's easy to feel and easy to touch. Also, the focus ring is pretty good and pretty tactile and grippy, so also for manually focusing it works pretty easy and pretty fine. We also have a on and off switch for the image stabilization, so you don't have to go into your camera's menu to turn it on and off. And with, for example, the GH5 or G85, I have dual IS with this lens, so this lens is image stabilized, so this is very good, and even the image stabilization with this lens works really great. I do most of the time when I'm traveling and all that stuff handheld, and it just looks really good. So therefore I love this lens, and this lens is 12 to 35mm, which means it is equivalent to 24mm up to 70mm with a constant aperture of 2.8, so really great. So with this zoom range I can pretty much film an entire wedding without changing lenses. I entirely used this lens for my travel film about the Alps. I just used this lens and my GH5 handheld and I was ready to go. And the lens has an aperture of 2.8, so it is also pretty good for low light situations, I would say. So because it's pretty fast and you have pretty shallow depth of field with this lens, so if you zoom in all the way up to 70mm, it is very good, I would say. So the only disadvantage of this lens from my perspective is the design or the color. I would have liked it more if they just made it entirely black. And I have to say that this is the first generation, which cost around 800 bucks, or no, let's say 700 bucks. And the second generation, which is the newer one, costs around 1000 bucks. So, but they are pretty equal. The only thing that I think is a disadvantage of this lens is the lens hood. So we have a lens hood included, which is pretty good, but it pops off really easy. And that's not the same with the other lenses from Panasonic, so therefore you have to be careful to don't lose this lens overall. So talking about the most important thing is the sharpness. I think the sharpness of this lens is overall pretty good. So the sweet spot here, as with most of the other lenses, is f4. So here that's the sharpest spot, and even to the corners it looks pretty fine. But if we go more down to, let's say, f2.8, sure, we lose a little bit of sharpness, but overall that's pretty okay, and even to the corners it looks really good. Yes, we have chromatic aberrations just with every other lens, but that's also with this lens pretty okay. If we are in wide angles, so 24mm, we don't have that much vignetting here, which is also very good. And on 70mm we don't have it either way. So to summarize, I think that is the most important and most versatile lens with which every Micro Four Thirds user should own, because it has a pretty good zoom range and it has a constant aperture of 2.8, so pretty good lens here. And yeah, that was the review of the Panasonic 12 to 35mm. Every product that I use are linked down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did so, please hit the thumbs up button below, and I see you guys in my very next video. Cheers!